As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner, YouGov, offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more. EA, $1.4 billion Playdemic purchase strengthens its mobile strategy. So EA's been on this tear here, but here they've acquired Golf Clash creator Playdemic from Warner Media for $1.4 billion in cash. So they get this free-to-play golf game on mobile. Has 80 million downloads over the last 4 years. They supposedly generated 200 million in revenue last year and had a profit of $80 million. What is going on here, Jeff, with EA and mobile? This is the second big mobile acquisition, right?
Yeah, I think it's actually maybe even the third. The second big one they also did. So they did Glue Mobile for a couple billion. And now this one, they did one other, much smaller. They bought, I think, a baseball game developer from Canada. It's a pretty interesting strategy shift. I mean, for the longest time, the EA, even though they had a decent size mobile division, it always punched way below its weight. And sort of the industry chatter, or the theory on the industry, was just the executives there, particularly the CEO on down, like, just didn't really prioritize mobile. And that obviously is changing. I mean, they've now allocated almost $5 billion in the last 6 months to mobile. That's really significant for a 40 whatever they are billion dollar company. That's a massive, that's like board level strategic shift, bet the company almost on a platform. Now you could argue, they're doing this 5, maybe even 10 years too late. But it's interesting. So that's the first reason why I think this story is interesting. The second, maybe even bigger picture of why I think the story is interesting is because the person who they're buying it from. So they're buying this asset from Warner Brothers, which obviously was sold from AT&T to Discovery. And
we weren't sure what was going to happen with the assets, right?
Exactly. It's kind of been a will they, won't they for the last, I think, almost like a year. I remember when I was an analyst writing, a story, there was rumors literally probably about a year, almost exactly a year ago at this time, that they were going to sell off all the video game assets and who would be the best buyer for that. So the fact that now it seems like they're actually going ahead and doing that sale, it kind of makes you wonder, okay, well, if this was the mobile piece of it and really was a small piece of it, who's going to get, the bigger parts of it, like the Warner Brothers actual video interactive studio. And then also I think they have like Rocksteady and Arcane and some other really good assets. So that's the piece that I think is probably more interesting maybe to talk about. Interestingly enough, I think EA
was the price right here, Jeff?
It's expensive. I mean, what they say, $80 million EBITDA.
They paid 7 times revenue.
The price is not right. That's a lot, right? Like that's a lot. That's a lot. For basically one IP.
I also feel like, unlike games publishers where there are only a few big ones left to acquire, so you might have to pay a premium, I feel like there's always another top mobile publisher.
It's true.
True, but one at this scale? I mean, 200 million revenue is not like, it's nothing to sneeze at. Maybe in the mobile world it's not massive, but it's not insignificant either. Does anyone think it's because they really needed someone to help with Battlefield Mobile?
I don't know if that's a joke or not, but
no, I don't know. In
reality, no, but
is it just does anyone think then this was totally opportunistic? Warner in disarray, these assets sort of out there.
I mean, they paid 7 times revenue in
true.
cash, so it's not. I don't know how to describe this.
True.
Opportunistic is not. If they paid $350 million, then yeah, I would say okay, they kind of scooped up an asset. This to me is like you're paying not even a premium. You're paying
is it about going head to head
multiple.
on golf? Is it about the golf, like against Take-Two's PGA Tour franchise or whatever? Is it PGA Tour? Yeah.
I think it's like they made a strategic decision where they have been pushed by investors. Hey, what are you doing in mobile? Why aren't you doing mobile? Your mobile business has been shrinking the last 3 years when the industry is growing 25, 30% plus. And, someone up high, I mean, let's not say so. Andrew Wilson, the CEO, and the board basically were like, we are going to build a mobile business.
But that's why he bought Glue.
No,
why make another acquisition?
You got to keep building it. I mean, you have to have scale, right? That's the
like,
whole
don't
point
you
of
shut
mobile.
the analysts up? You're like, okay, guys, I spent $2.5 billion. That's enough.
Yes, I mean, you need scale. They hired a mobile head. I think I forget the guy's name, but they hired like a really senior mobile guy. This was probably end of last year. Then they did the Glue acquisition. Now they're doing this. So like they're putting their money more where their mouth is. I think they probably overpaid, but like the strategy of buying mobile assets is probably a decent one. Particularly, I think what they're doing is they see IDFA and all these changes with the mobile ecosystem, and they understand that these big, like large brands that have kind of broad spectrum are probably what's going to win in mobile in the future. And maybe they're making a bet leaning into that. So it's expensive, but it's a bold strategic move. So I applaud it.
I'm also waiting for like an announcement of some new title, right? Like some new franchise, because like a lot of these sports games don't translate well to mobile. Golf is great; you can set the direction, the power, the swing. But football on mobile, basketball on mobile, the other things EA excels at, for console rather, I don't see it translating here. So I feel like there has to be some currently developed game or game in development that there's going to be a mobile tie over that maybe this will make more sense, because the price doesn't make sense, and for me the specific game doesn't make a lot of sense either.
You guys all don't like the price. To me, if everyone says mobile's the future, 7 times revenue doesn't seem that crazy to me. Not in the world.
Paul, price is what you pay, value is what you get. Warren Buffett 101.
Ramsey says, strange the market saw this as a negative. Stock is down since you'd expect it was a discount from AT&T and presumably a good deal.
Well, I guess if you assume it was a discount. But
See? Ramsey agrees with me. This was a good deal.
I'm disagreeing with the premise. I mean, I don't know. What's the EBITDA multiple? What's 1.4 billion divided by 80? I mean, you're paying 17.5 times EBITDA. Like, that's really expensive. So I don't know.
I mean, clearly there's some bet on the growth of mobile. I just think what's weird to me is in the context of IDFA, in the context of monetizing mobile probably becoming more difficult, not less difficult, paying big multiples right now seems, at least, not risky is maybe the wrong word, but seems aggressive. What's that, William?
2 years too late. I mean, it does sort of characterize it as this is something that should have been spent 5 years ago. Maybe,
or it's just like we don't know yet how the whole IDFA thing is really going to shake out, right? And so do you pay this multiple 2 years from now? Probably, once it's all sort of been figured out. I just think there's a certain amount of uncertainty around mobile monetization right now that I'm surprised that you're seeing acquisitions happening with that uncertainty.
It's just like William's point is absolutely right. Like, they're 5 years too late. I mean, 5 years ago, Activision bought King, I think, for almost $6 billion. But that was, I believe, 5 times EBITDA. This is 7 times revenue. So it's just, I don't know. They have a lot of cash, so
Bobby buys right. Give him any credit. Bobby buys right.
If I'm an EA shareholder, pose the question to everyone else, would you rather them buy this or say, hey, we're going to try to build the next Apex Legends or 2 Apex Legends?
Or make sure Battlefield's a really great game.
Or that.
Yeah, or
Like
just make
1.4
Battlefield.
billion, you could build a heck of a lot of games for 1.4 billion.
That's like 5 studios you could open.
That's like almost a Star Wars. Like how much was a Star Wars? Like
Yeah, we need
Star Wars.
William's Star Wars metric.
How many Star Wars is 10?
Star Wars. It's a Star Wars. That's what it is. It's a Star Wars here.
What's a Star Wars?
Wow, Disney.
golf
Disney can
mobile
buy
game.
right. That would be my takeaway. Disney buys right.
Chris says, can they compete with Golden T-Mobile? If not, yikes on that price. I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't even know Golden T-Mobile. I don't have one game installed on my phone and never will.